Wonder if anyone noticed the mistake. I put this in upside down. The seat bottom gets pulled against the crossbars. If I had the silver inserts on the top, it would just pull them out of the plywood. So, and this is paint from test fitting. So I flipped it over, and now we will do some folding and stapling. Those will need to be tapped down a little. Okay, so pretty obvious. I'm no master upholsterer. It just seemed to make sense on how to wrap these things. What I did discover is it was better leaving the corners till the end, because as you end up with a little bit of surplus material as you work across to the edge, then you get these sort of ripples. It's easier to deal with. You know, here's one. Easier to deal with if you leave that to the end. Anyway, not too bad. I think this is going to be pretty comfy, I think. And I mean, obviously the credit goes to Kaiser-Willys for the stitching job and the pattern and everything. This is a 4-inch piece of foam, and I think I have a 3-inch for the back, which seems to work quite well. Have just noticed that, of course, my holes for the back are hidden now, so I'll have to bore through. Yeah, I can feel one there. I'll just have to do a little cut, and hopefully in a way that doesn't cause that to start ripping. In fact, I might just cut back in a V so I can see it versus putting a hole straight through. Anyway, that's the next thing, I guess, to deal with. All right, last couple of turns. These I still haven't seated, but I will get through there, and this will help keep this pinned down and from spreading or tearing. Other option is that maybe I just leave it. 4 well-anchored screws on something that is going to have weight down on it, not lifting necessarily. So here's what we got so far. All right, so seat cushion anchored. I just got to get the back on. Pinned into these holes. So here's what it looks like with the top just sitting there, back cushion. What we got to do is compress the foam and pull this tight enough so that the screws reach. But I'm just a little concerned about how much tension that's going to put on the fabric. I may need to hollow out the back here a little, just to make it a little easier to get connected. Sides aren't as much of an issue. These flaps will easily reach. That's the other thing I could do, I guess, is run up the sides, work my way around to the front, or the top. Anyway. bit of thanking to do. All right, so I've done a little trimming. It's not the most elegant to sort of bevel this edge, the corner, and take a little off the back there. That's a piece of it. And then I think what I will do is start at the top, not the bottom or the sides. And if I can get those pinned, there's a lot of material down here. So if the cushion tilts back a little, or I can grab this, that'll be good. Basically, these are held in place by screws and washers, grommets, I guess, which is sort of like the original. So I'll give that a try, and hopefully everything will go okay. I've tried a practice. I've installed a couple of these things. My worry was that these holes are sort of, you know, hollowed out and don't grip anymore, especially this one that I had to pound a little to get the profile back down. But they do, the screws do grip or grab. They're quite coarse, self-tapping metal screws. So as long as I get some kind of grip, it should be okay. Looking at the picture of the original seat, it seems like the grommets sit right along the edge. They're not in very far. So as long as I can get that down far enough, that should be good. All right, we'll see what happens. Okay, so that's the first one. It's obviously got some pulling here, which I'm hoping will be relieved by pulling these down. These are sharp enough to just thread themselves right through the vinyl. The vinyl's got an extra lining, or an extra piece under here to take the strain. So we'll just keep moving across the top and then down the sides. All right, 2. So there's the third. They actually aren't spaced evenly, but what's nice to see is the sort of extreme pleating, or whatever that is starting to spread out across the seat back, so it won't look so pinched, hopefully. Okay, so there's all 4. This is flattening, which is nice. I did not stretch this enough that way, I think, so I might reposition that ever so slightly if I can, and pull that flat. So now it's down the sides. Probably should do alternating back and forth till I get to the bottom. Yeah, you can see this is pulled up, but it easily presses down, and then there's lots of material. Okay, onwards. Okay, we're just working our way around the side. And don't want to crush the material too badly. All right, one more on this side and then the other. I know I said I was going to go back and forth, but I think I want to get one side anchored before I deal with that, and I'm too lazy to flip it over. So hopefully this hasn't created a skewed sort of seating thing. Okay, this side is done. I'm gonna flip it over and work on the other. Okay, here is the last. Turn. I'm very glad about, I'm not going to stress that, is that these do not appear to have any issue at all holding. I was worried that old deformed metal was not going to grab those screws, but they have. So this did not flatten as much as I would have hoped, but doesn't really matter. I'm gonna flip this over and have a look. Nice. turned out really nicely. Actually, there is a little bit of a rise here where the liner didn't pull totally over. I might be able to fix that, but that looks great. Good stuff. Oh, I've just discovered one of the advantages of putting upholstery together with screws. You can take it apart easily. So this is what I was noticing had sort of shifted a little and wasn't coming right to the edge of the cushion. So I think that is going to be better. And I'll screw it back together and we'll have a look. All right, that turned out okay. I was able to pull the lining out a little. Ended up with a few more creases here, putting it back together. Anyway, this is far better than I was really expecting. Not due to any skill of mine, the fit of the covers that Kaiser-Willys did is pretty good. I can see that. Actually, yeah, the line isn't totally even on the front, but I think this will shift a little and settle as it gets used and sat in. So very happy compared to the skanky ass boat seat I had sitting there on the passenger side. So looking forward to installing that.